9/11 magazine, all about champions and their unique stories. The comeback. Emma Raducanu fights her way back to the tennis tour. Coming home after more than a century, we join Austro-Daimler ADS-R Sascha on a trip through Wiener Neustadt, a ski adventure in the desert. Aksel Lund Svindal and the 9/11 Dakar.
I have such high standards of myself. You need massive amounts of dedication and self-discipline and drive. And if you have that, that's where you're gonna really go above and beyond. For me, I love the competition with tennis. I worked my way up and I think I built my dream as I went through the stages. I was the youngest ITF winner. I turned 13, made 4th round of Wimbledon and won the US Open. Everything did flip overnight. All of a sudden you're being watched. Everything is being watched. Decisions will be scrutinized. Everyone will have a comment about anything you do. You have to really have thick skin and learn that very quickly. It takes some adjusting to. The biggest thing that led me to surgery was just, I'd been struggling with my wrist pain and I'd just been managing it for a long time. I just wasn't able to train. I was only practicing like 45 minutes a day and I couldn't practice everything I wanted to because of the pain. So I felt very undercooked when I would go into matches and unprepared. That was the most difficult thing, I think, mentally for me to take. There was just no way to continue competing. I just couldn't take it anymore. I kind of underestimated the rehabilitation time, I would say. It was still 4 or 5 months out, which is a long time for any athlete. After the initial sadness, I guess, and disappointment, I decided to try and spin it into a good thing, like I'm going to use this time, really take a break. I tried to put my time to good use learning new skills. I did some painting, I learned a little bit of the piano. Honestly, love going for drives. That's one of my favorite things to do with music, friends or solo. I think it's actually a really good time to reflect. I'd say like 5-6 hours a day you're just doing rehab. So it takes up your whole day, it's quite a lot, and yeah, by the end of it you're pretty tired, but once you see yourself transition onto court, the initial excitement just to be on a tennis court feeling a bit like a tennis player makes a huge difference. With the rehab process, it wasn't straightforward. I tried different things, I tried different approaches, different methods. Now I feel like I'm doing certain exercises better than I've ever done it before, like lifting better, stronger. And I want to be able to push more, do a little bit more, even if it's putting half a kilo plate at the end, just trying to get every little bit I can out of myself.
First question.
I think perseverance and resilience is one of my biggest strengths, because although I have had great successes, there's also been so many different setbacks. One thing that the time off has told me is I love the sport, like going back on after such a long break, it just, you come back with so much more enthusiasm and hunger, and just to know how much better I can get and how much more I can push myself. And I really feel like now that when I'm on the court, it's just like, okay, this is actually amazing. Like, this is so good. Like, life is amazing playing tennis. And I really believe in myself that if I just keep putting these days together like how I have been, I'd really think that I can achieve whatever I want to.
This is what it's like to drive a car in 1922. With a water-cooled 4-cylinder inline engine, displacement of just under 1100 cc, 45 horsepower at 4,500 RPM, and a top speed of 144 kilometers per hour. This is the Austro-Daimler ADS-R, or simply Sascha for short. The Sascha was constructed here in Wiener Neustadt by Ferdinand Porsche more than 100 years ago, and we are bringing it back home. An affordable small car for the people. This was the vision of Ferdinand Porsche, who was the general manager at the automobile manufacturer Austro-Daimler in Austria in the early 1920s. To put the vehicle called the ADS into series production, he needed the approval of the executive board. He found an ally in Count Alexander Kolovrat, also known as Sascha, a shareholder in Austro-Daimler and a motorsport enthusiast. Together, they developed plans to build a racing version, the ADS-R, to win the executive board over to the small car concept with race victories. Kolovrat financed the motorsport project, and the car was named after him, Sascha.
Wir haben im Porsche-Museum rund 700 Fahrzeuge im Gesamtbestand, unter anderem auch den Sascha, das älteste fahrbare Auto bei uns, und den durften wir restaurieren. Aus heutiger Sicht, das Besondere an diesem Fahrzeug ist, dass Ferdinand Porsche 1922, als er gebaut wurde, schon gewusst hat, wir müssen nicht konkurrieren mit den Fahrzeugen, die großvolumig sind, die viel PS haben, sondern hat kleine Motoren gebaut, die drehfreudig sind, ein 4-Zylinder-Reihenmotor mit einer Doppelzündung, 2 oberliegende Nockenwellen. Als Visionär und Pionier hat er da ganz anders gedacht wie manch andere Konstrukteure und hat ein Leichtbau-Chassis gebaut. Deswegen sieht man hier eindeutig die Porsche-DNA. Das Besondere an dem Fahrzeug war auch die Positionierung vom Tank unter dem Fahrer. Damit hat er einen sehr tiefen Schwerpunkt und lässt sich sehr sportlich fahren. Und Seilzugbremsen auf der Vorderachse, das hat man zu der Zeit noch nicht gehabt.
Es ist einfach schön, an einem Fahrzeug zu arbeiten, an dem Ferdinand Porsche wahrscheinlich auch schon gearbeitet hat. Wir sind da oft zusammengesessen, haben überlegt, wie machen wir das, wo machen wir es. Das ganze Projekt wieder zusammenwachsen zu sehen, da bin ich mega dran gewachsen. Und es ist eine große Ehre, dieses Erbe, was wir anvertraut bekommen haben, zu pflegen, zu warten und letztendlich auch einzusetzen. Beim Fahren muss man auf einige Dinge achten, zum Beispiel, weil das Gas einfach in der Mitte ist und die Bremse rechts, Kupplung links, muss man seine Füße ein bisschen neu sortieren, aber dann geht es nach vorne weg. Wir haben ein 4-Gang-Schaltgetriebe, was sich super schalten lässt. Man muss einfach darauf achten, das Fahrzeug nicht zu schnell in Kurven zu bewegen, weil es sonst einfach nach vorne wegrutscht und untersteuert. Die Lenkung musst du in Kurven aufpassen, die hat keine Rückstellkräfte. Das ist einfach fahren, wie es früher war, und da braucht man Kraft.
Um ein Fahrzeug, das aus den 1920er Jahren kommt, instand halten zu können, braucht man nicht nur besondere Werkzeuge, sondern muss auch so denken wie die damaligen Konstrukteure. Viele Dinge sind komplett anders und da haben wir extrem viel gelernt auf den historischen Spuren von Ferdinand Porsche.
4 prototypes were built. They celebrated their premiere at the legendary Targa Florio in Sicily in 1922. 3 ADS-R cars competed in the small 1.1-liter class. 2 of them scored a 1-2 victory, and one Sascha racing car with a 1.5-liter engine finished in 19th place overall in the large open class. A further 52 races and 22 victories followed. The executive board nevertheless decided against series production for financial reasons. Ferdinand Porsche left Austro-Daimler to become technical director at Daimler Motorengesellschaft in Stuttgart.
Das ist einfach mega schön, wenn du hier mit so einem lauten, markanten Fahrzeug durch die Altstadtkulisse fährst, wo es wirklich noch sehr viele historische Fassaden hat und dass das den Menschen gezeigt werden kann, dass es solche Fahrzeuge noch gibt, nach über 100 Jahren, dass man es fahren kann. Das ist in Worte manchmal gar nicht zu beschreiben.
Hier, wo das Auto konstruiert, gebaut und hergestellt wurde, das ist schon ganz großartig.
This is how it starts. Whenever you want to try something new, you call it a mission, a challenge, an adventure. Early mornings, in the darkness, you're up way before anyone else. Knowing what you can rely on, your ability, your equipment. Prepped, confident, you're ready. So even when the butterflies set in, you have this sense of inner calm. It's not always about climbing Mount Everest or winning the Olympics. Sometimes it's simply doing the unexpected for the sheer fun of it. It's all about finding the sweet spot between letting go and staying in control. This is where pure joy lives. It's life in its simplest form. Is there such a thing as having too much fun? Probably not. And that's why we keep on doing it.
Good work.